Hey, how are you? It's Dan McDonald, the Life Regenerator. I was wondering to myself, well, what am I going to do for today's video? And I saw this cool question about a comment on one of the videos talking about the differences between Robert Morse's style, technique, teachings, and Lou Corona's different teachings and whatnot, and the differences between my teaching. And what I wanted to bring up today, and I think this is important, I think we're bringing everything to a whole nother level through this channel. Not me, but all of us together, by you exploring this whole raw food thing. You crazy person, you out there. This is just insane. I can't believe you're going to eat a diet just the way that all animals have on this planet since it began. You've got to cook your food. Raw food diet is the most natural thing in the history of mankind, and yet we're so blinded. It's interesting, but I just wanted to we got to bring in context. Okay, now the thing about Robert Morse, who's my mentor, and if you haven't gone to his channel, Robert Morse ND, you got to go check him out. He is a living master, and he is one of the greatest healers on the planet, if not the greatest healer on the planet at this time. Okay, and he's down on my YouTube channel page down at the bottom, Robert Morse ND. Go subscribe to him and watch his videos. Okay, now remember, Robert is a detoxification and regeneration specialist. Okay, so he's working with people that have chronic illnesses that are trying to live. So the worst of the worst always end up over at him. So he's got a program designed using fruits and herbs to detox people, okay? And that's what he does. You're dying, you go to him. If you do what he says, a large percentage of the time you'll live. Some people don't because they just let things go too far, or they got cut up too much, took too many pills, got fried and cooked, and there's just nothing you can do once that you've been ran through the ringer. You know, that's what happens with our establishments and whatnot. But and then there's Lou Corona, where he does detoxification too for himself. Lou, generally what he does is works one-on-one, and he'll teach you at the level you're at as well in his own way. But also Lou Corona has been on a raw vegan diet for 37 years. The thing is with Robert, you can't be on a detox diet for the rest of your life. You'll be like a toothpick. You might feel okay, but eventually what happens is the people that are on the high fruit diets for too long, what you do is you detox and you cleanse and you heal the body with the fruits and the herbs. But you can't stay on a detox diet for 20 years, because I've talked to a lot of dudes that ate too much fruit and lost their teeth and lost their hair and lost their relationships and lost their sanity, because the first 2 to 4 years on the high fruit diet is really, really good, and you feel great. You get into states of euphoria. And then what happens is everything changes. Life always changes and always moves on. And you know, you need elements in the body that are contained in other certain foods: fatty acids, amino acids, minerals, cell salts, vitamins, minerals, and enzymes from different sources of plant foods. When your intuition tells you it's time to change up, and you don't do that, because a lot of times you'll get stuck on a mental rigid pattern of what the right diet is. It's an ideal usually, and that's good. We have to have ideals because that moves us forward and inspires us to continue to grow. But sometimes what worked in the beginning, and you kind of get stuck on on a program. You think this is what worked then, it should always work, but it doesn't work. And I've seen it that go against people a lot. I've seen a lot of people that use the detox diets to heal themselves, but then they stay with that diet, and that's not the appropriate diet, because the nuts and seeds, which Robert, someone said Robert doesn't promote the nuts and seeds. Well, no, he doesn't promote the nuts and seeds because he is a detoxification specialist. And when you're on the detox, you take away all the fats, all the nuts, as much as possible, and you get skinny as a rail. And everyone freaks out It's the same thing with the water fasting. You get skinny, you get sallow, you lose all the excess weight. And everyone freaks out and tries to feed you steak and potatoes, and that's the last thing you want to do, okay? But in the detox, you break it down, and you take all the nuts and seeds out, because the nuts and seeds will keep the lymphatic system from moving. So if you're trying to lose weight, heal up a disease, or, enhance or heal yourself up from like a neurological condition, that's where we use the fruits and the herbs mostly. But you can only do that for so long. Once you're cleaned out, you got to rebuild. Now for some people, being a raw vegan or vegan and not using animal products is very important. For some people it's not. For me, I was told from a light out of the sky that I'm supposed to be a raw vegan. I found it out in one day. I went raw vegan overnight 11 years ago, and I never looked back. It told me to do that. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to convince anyone or prove to anyone. I'm just here to help people. We got to bring context into the raw food world. And that was the ego video. And I am one of the most educated raw food teachers in the world. And if you have a problem with that, that's cool, because I'm looking around and I want to go learn from the guys like Lou Corona, who's got 37 raw vegan experience, Robert Morse, 40 years as a detoxification specialist, Gabriel Cousins, master in his field using the green juices. I want to learn anything I can. I'm out there looking. I don't know of anybody else out there whose books I haven't read. And a lot of them I've got to be friends with. First they were my teachers, then they were my mentors, then we were, then we were colleagues, and now we're just friends, because it grows like that. And they have respect for what I do, which is more of a broad-based, heal your whole life, helping as many different people as I can. I just so happen to have, thanks to Robert, the greatest information on how to detoxify and heal and eliminate chronic and acute illnesses. Spending a lot of time with Lou Corona and understanding his program, I learned to understand how to gain strength and power on a raw food diet by bringing in more nuts and seeds, soaking them up, culturizing them. 37 years on raw vegan, Lou Corona. So those are a couple of my main influences. I have also, not only have I done a lot of detox, fasting, juice diets, mono fruit diets, just to play and have fun. I haven't achieved my ultimate goal yet. I've spent a lot of time detoxifying, but then I've also spent a lot of time playing with the rebuilding phase of this game, which I'm doing right now. A lot of you have noticed that in the last few weeks, I've put on about 5 or 8 pounds, you know what I'm saying? And I know how to do that. When I was first starting the ride, I ate fruits and iceberg lettuce and Welch's grapefruit juice. That was it. No nuts and seeds. No, very little fat, avocados when I needed to. Now I've upped my fat percentage, brought back the nuts, and I've put on a bunch of weight. And I knew that was what was going to happen, but because that's how it works. So the point of this video is, I hope you're getting something out of it. I only have a few minutes to discuss something that would easily be an hour-long lecture. But we have to understand the context. And you get a lot of raw food discrepancies because one person is only seeing it from one way because they're an athlete and thinks everyone in the world is an athlete. Well, the 95-year-old granny does not care about all that fruit. She just wants to get rid of the arthritis. So you need to understand the art and science of detoxification. So not everyone is an athlete and isn't going to go by that program. So it helps to have a very broad understanding. So we as raw educators, we need to continue to educate ourselves, open up our mind. We can't just read one book and make that a religion. You have to read several thousand books, work with different practitioners from all the different fields, which is the reason why you have connected with me so much, because I've worked in the detox, I've worked in the rebuilding and bodybuilding phases, so I've got both ends of the spectrum covered, which is really kind of unique, so that I can help as many people as I can. Help people gain weight, help people lose weight, help people get rid of chronic diseases and whatnot. And athletes to increase their performance if that's what they want to do. And the spiritual aspect from David Hawkins, Swami Sivananda, Yogananda, I read all Paul Bragg's fasting books, Arnold Ehret, Herbert Shelton, Norman Walker, the list goes on and on. And the more you educate yourself, the more you understand that this person isn't right. Lou Corona does his thing and Robert does his thing. There's no discrepancies. There's only difference in context. And everyone is here and has their own experiences. I have my own experiences. I needed to detoxify from alcohol and drugs. And I also was a bodybuilder for a long time. And so I got to be kind of, I'm in the middle of both of those worlds. So I have my experience. Lou had his water fasting experiences. Robert had his fruit orange diet for 6 months experience. And then we come back and we share our gift, our experiences. We walk through the fire of that. And that's what we help people with. No single one person has all the answers or wrote the book. Because whoever's supposed to end up at us, whoever's supposed to end up with Lou is going to end up with Lou. Whoever's supposed to end up with Robert is supposed to end up with Robert. Whoever's supposed to end up with me ends up with me. And whoever ends up with Gabriel Cousins ends up over there. Okay? And so there's no right or wrong. There's just that we are beacons of light for the right person to come. And then they might come to us. And then they move on to the next person. And each person continues to grow and expand in knowledge so that when you really understand raw foods, you can get excited. Because you can clean up diseases, enhance your spirituality, and become a raw vegan bodybuilder. There's so many things you can do with raw foods. It's unending. So just remember context. Keep your mind open. Don't bother judging anyone. Just be the best you can be. And that's all you do. And the right person will come to you and you'll be able to share. It's always about just being cheerful and opening your heart and letting the light just come out and affect anyone in a positive way. My name's Dan McDonald. I hope we just got a little something. Wanted to tell you hello. Tomorrow I'm shooting for 130 miles to break another record. So pray for me. I love you. I'm here to help. God bless you. Peace.